Hi, I'm John Byrne with Poets Quants. Welcome to yet another edition of the MBA Adventure, Making It Happen with Fortuna Admissions. And I'm here with the lovely Caroline Diarte Edwards, the co-founder of Fortuna and the former MBA Admissions Director of INSEAD.
Right.
We're going to talk about engineers.
Yes.
Now, when you get to overrepresented MBA applicant pools, the engineers are right at the top.
They are.
In particular, the male Indian engineer.
Yeah. It's
How
tough.
do you stand out from this massive crowd of people who are applying?
Yeah, it is tough. And first of all, I would say, there's a logic to what they're doing, and the business schools understand that. It's fantastic to have an engineering background plus a degree from a top business school to go on to, your future career. It puts you in a very good position to go on to, a lot of different roles in different industries. So it's, a fantastic combination of credentials to have. It makes a lot of sense. The tricky thing is that, some of the aspects of the role and the work that you've done so far may not be very relevant to the MBA classroom and to, your post-MBA career. You're probably looking at making a career switch. A lot of the engineers applying are looking to do something quite different when they graduate. So first of all, I would say, avoid jargon in your application. There's probably a lot of jargon in your industry that doesn't really seem like jargon to you because it's so familiar and it's, you know exactly what it means. Don't assume that the file reader will know what it means. And that can be a real turn-off if you use language that is just not familiar and they have no idea what you're talking about, right? Their eyes will glaze over very quickly. So don't use jargon and just don't focus on the technical aspects of your role because that's not what is relevant to what you bring to business school. So you need to, before you start working on your application, take a step back and think very carefully about the transferable skills that you've developed.
Right.
And so that may be communication skills, team working skills, perhaps leadership skills, analytical skills, presentation skills. A lot of skills that you've developed that may not be so obvious to you, but, think carefully about what you've done. And I'm sure there are things in there that you can pull out. And that is what is relevant to business school. And that is also what's very relevant to your post-MBA prospects. And remember, the admissions committee is always looking at your file thinking, how is this candidate going to look to a future recruiter? Because they want to bring people in who are going to be successful in achieving their goals post-MBA.
So you need to step outside your narrow role and
Yeah.
take a bigger picture view of the skills and talents you've acquired in the job.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So look at it quite differently from the way that you're probably thinking about your skills in the day-to-day, demands of your job. And then secondly, I would say, it's very common to see engineering applicants who have done a lot of extracurriculars when they were at college and, been very involved in student life. But once they start work, that falls by the wayside. And
They're working 80 to 100 hours a
They're
week.
working super hard and it's very tough, but you need to keep up your extracurriculars. You need to show that you've got other interests beyond your day job. And so that's a way that you can differentiate yourself, is to show that you've got, other passions, other interests, where you have a track record, that you've achieved something over time. And it shows that you're not this one-dimensional engineer who, has no other interest beyond your day job, that you have, multi-dimensions that you bring to the program, a lot of interests, and that's what can really bring your application to life.
And there it's also about impact and accomplishment. It's not just about joining a club or having an interest.
Yes, it's about, what have you done in that capacity over time? What have you achieved? Have you had an impact? And the over time really helps, right? If you've got a track record in doing something and achieving something.
Right.
In that capacity. And then, related to that, show your personality. Too often engineers write very dry applications, right? So show your personality, even show your sense of humor.
Are
in
you
your
telling me
application.
they fulfill the stereotype of what an engineer is?
Too often,
Oh my,
unfortunately.
okay.
So bring the application to life. And with an application like INSEAD, as you know, it's a very long application.
Yes.
And I'm partly responsible for that, having been admissions director there for many years. But it gives you a great opportunity to tell your story in multiple dimensions, right? So a longer application is sometimes your friend because you could get beyond what you do in your day job and really tell other aspects of your background that can help to pique the interest of the file reader. And you can use your recommenders as well to talk about your personality and how you are not the typical engineer, but you have other skills that you bring and that would lend themselves very well to a future career post MBA.
All great advice to engineer a great application for you engineers. This is John Byrne with Poets and Quants. Thanks for watching the MBA adventure, Making It Happen with Fortuna Admissions. Join us for our other episodes.